Alright, so our last video on this channel was all about all the items that are in the tournaments, correct? Well, in this video, we're going to be looking over how you could get those items for yourself. You know, I'm going to be showing you guys all the tips and tricks about tournaments that you guys should pay attention to. Now, I know that there's only 9 for this because those are the only 9 that I could think of at the moment. But if there's anything else that you guys would like to add, feel free to tell me in the comments below. So, I guess that's all I have to say for now, so let's get into it. Alright bros, tip number 1. Alright, first tip on here is if you go in the settings and you look at screen shake, turn that off. It will make fighting so much more smooth. Like, watch this.
Pew 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 pew.
See that? No
pew,
screen
pew.
shaking. It makes life so much easier because if you're in FFA or something and everyone around you is fighting, you know, that can get very annoying when your screen is shaking a lot and you can't really do anything about it. Because it's really hard to see where you're aiming at and everyone's just surrounding you, so you're just so confused and mad at the same time. Alright, tip number 2. Alright, this one's quite easy. So, every time that you're in the lobby, make sure that you're ready for your fight. Alright? So, let's say you're going to do sword moves and all that fancy stuff. Make sure that when you get in the lobby, the first thing you do is turn on your sword, right? You press number 4 or whatever you have to do. And then you turn on the ability that you want to use, like your durability ability. Like if you're going to use Legendary Super Saiyan or Spring-like limbs, turn that on right away. And by the way, when you see this screen right here where it says selected mode 1v1 and it starts counting down, that is when you want to turn on your champion. Because if you do it before that, he will disappear before you get into the match. But now if you're just like this, you're all set to go into your brand new round. See? You come in here, you got all your powers ready, and you're just good to go. Alrighty, let's move on to tip number 3. Alright, from about this point on, we are going to be getting into the tips that you need for winning more battles. Now, everything earlier was about, like, things you should keep in mind and how to be smart. But now let's get on to what happens inside the battle that you're in. Now, in a little moment, I'll demonstrate to you something that is really... It can be overpowering, but you have to get the timing of it, like, correct. Alright, so those of you that have this light fruit, there's something that you can do with this thing that makes it pretty overpowered at points. Alright, so you know it's C ability, right? I showed you guys that in the last video, Divine Punishment. That thing is insane, right? So if you manage to time this fruit just right, you can actually make people think you're hacking with it, like I said before. Alright, here's the thing. When you use this fruit's ability a second before the game starts, it will actually damage the player that you're fighting before the game even starts. Alright, now I'm going to demonstrate this to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get my stand ready, alright? So in about 2 to 3 seconds, you're going to eat it. Then at 0, press C. Alright, zoom all the way out. Put your cursor on them and boom. Easy as that. Now, the timing on here gets weird sometimes. It can vary because I don't really know. But sometimes it'll be 1 second, sometimes it'll be 0. So it really just depends on your luck for that game. But mostly for me, it's at, like, right at 0 that I activate it. And then it just demolishes my opponent to about half HP. Like, this thing's insane. And some players have really been wanting to know how I do it. So there you guys go. Tip number 4. Alright, we all know those desperate times where you're about to die, so you just try and spam your way out of everything. But listen, even if you may get some wins from spamming because you're playing with bots, spamming is not always the best way to go. Alright, so I'm going to start off this next round the way that you just saw me do that other fruit, you know? I'm going to eat this, I'm going to do this right then. Alright, so we got that out of the way, alright? So what I like to do is I switch from the fruit to overhaul. Into transmission, press M. You know, get them stunned a little bit. Walk over, press C. You know, they're a little stuck. And then I just like to use these 2 abilities. And then I dip in case they try to stun me, you know. And then right after this, I switch back to the fruit. And then we do the process over again. Then after the fruit, we switch back to overhaul. Then while he's doing whatever he's doing, just come on over here. Boom, he's stuck. And 1 shot. Let me just swing at him. No, die. Just accept your fate. There we go. Alright, but in that fight, did you see just how much he spammed? He like used every ability that he could find on his keyboard to try and kill me. But can you guess what? He still lost. Keep in mind, what I just showed you was something very simple. Like, I'm just trying to keep things simple, you know. Give you guys some tips on how you can win more. Bruh. This guy just left. Wow. See, you make people rage quit when you do stuff like this. It's wonderful. Tip number 5. If you end up fighting someone with the D4 C stand, make sure that you stay away from him when he's using this ability right here. If you attack him while he's in this mode, he will actually redirect that hit and it will go back and hit you 30%. So if you go inside it as well, you're also going to take damage. So if they use that, just run away and just wait for it to, you know, just die out, you know. Tip number 6. If someone that you're fighting has overhaul, don't give up just yet, because sure, they might stun you, but you can always just stun them back. And whether you have overhaul or not, there's always a chance for you to make a comeback in the game. Alright, so this right here is a real fight. I don't know this guy, and we're in a public match. I'm surprised he hasn't hit me yet. Okay, he's about to. Alright, so let's just see what he tries to do. See if I can make a situation to where I can... Alright. Alright, you see, like, he's freezing me right now. So if I go ahead and switch to overhaul, while he's going nuts on me right now, spam the buttons that I'm trying to freeze with as he's trying to do his thing. We catch him in the act, and we manage to get out of there. Just barely, though. And as you see right now, I have him frozen. Freeze him again. Do some of that. Do this. And we won. See, just like that. Did you see how low HP I was? My man hit me for so much damage. But we can make a comeback. So, just try. Just come on, bros. And for tip number 7, it involves the item shop. Alright. You might have to grind a bit for this, but you are going to need Madara, believe it or not. Right, I know my boy Madara is a bit expensive, 35,000 crowns. You might have to spend hours. You might have to lose your soul to get this far, right?
Wrong.
But right here, what I'm about to tell you is what makes Madara better than you might think. Alright, so you know how whenever you become below 25 HP, or 25% of your total HP, you'll become immune for 5 seconds, right? Because when you get low, my little boy over here is going to put a little golden bubble around you, and you're going to be immune for 5 seconds. You're going to be immortal. But here's the downside to this. You can only do it once. But knowing the person that I am, we all know that I try to find my way around stuff like this. Because, you know, I just don't settle for less. I settle for more. So being the guy that I am, I figured out a way on how you could use this ability more than once. Because if you are in a battle and you get below 25% HP, you only can become immune once. So if you become low again, he ain't gonna do nothing for you. He just gonna let you die. My man just gonna be sitting there holding his little weapon over there like, hey, you good, bro? But nah, look at this, okay? Alright. Switch to another champion after you use his ability, and then wait a few seconds until you can swap to another ability, alright? Now, if you go ahead and swap from your champion back to Madara, everything resets like nothing ever happened. If you were ever below 25% HP again, he'll just put the golden bubble around you and you're good to go again. You're ready to step back in the fight. Just do this over and over, but you may be like, oh my gosh, Anxious, this is not good because I'm in 1v1s. Well, if you're an FFA and there's 9 players and they're all trying to kill you and you already used the golden bubble, you're like, dang, bro, they just gonna kill me like that? Nah. Do what I just showed you and Madara's good to go again. You can actually survive. You can actually make a comeback once again. Alright, and for tip number 8, we are going to be an FFA for this. Alright, so let's say you're in the middle of the game, you know, you're all powered up, but your HP is so low, but there's like no one else around. You're like, where are they all at? Because they're hiding in trees because they're so scared of you because you're powerful. Alright, enough of that. So if you want an easy way to find your opponent, here's something that is kind of broken, I guess. There's a lot of things broken in this game, but if you go to the spectator button, you click next, you can actually see the point of view at which the player is hiding. And like you can move around while you're doing it too, so you can find your way. So you can see me over there, but I'm really over here at the same time spectating him. So I'll just come over here, and then when I eventually get close enough, I'll switch back to my point of view, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's him up there. And I'm just like, hey, what's up, buddy? You want to die? And then you run up to him, you just destroy him, and then you swing at him until he's dead. And for tip number 9, in case anyone was like playing FFA or something, and you got a lot of kills, but you don't exactly know how many, and you would like to know how many kills you got during that game, go down there in the bottom left corner, you see that little button, you click that, boom, shows you everything you need to know. It goes from your kills to your shards to your yen, basically everything that you needed to know that you might have forgotten about. And for tip number 10 is another thing about D4C. Alright, so let's say that when you started the game, you did the devil fruit method where I showed you how to use it before the game, but mostly when you do that, you end up getting tased first, right? But in this method, it's going to involve your other opponent getting tased. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and have D4C on. So let's say we just spawned, they're running towards each other. I get the first tase with my Congress Haki. Run towards him, press C, then run away. Did you see that? So imagine being tased while you're just getting mauled by these clones. See, I told you this thing can be game changing. Because if they're just standing there, they can't do anything, and they're just getting tased, you just can't do anything. Oh yeah, another thing. So let's say that our opponent is running towards me, which he really isn't, so I'll run towards him. Let's say he's running towards me, right? I feel like he's about to freeze me. So the smart thing to do is to go ahead and take these out, and then while you're frozen, they aren't frozen. They'll just beat the living crap out of him while you're being frozen. So imagine you being frozen mid-air, but your things are still down there. Not only are they distracting him, so he won't freeze you the second you get out of being stunned, but they will also just destroy him with their punches. So there's quite a high chance of you winning that round. Oh yeah, before I end this video, I wonder if you guys like my awesome avatar, bro. I'm a freaking Pop-Tart box. I eventually changed it because I got third on the leaderboard, because you know I have no life. So yeah, anyways, hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Basically, I just showed you guys tips and tricks on what you should do to try and make yourself better at this game if you weren't already good. So hope you all enjoyed, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. All right, adios.